Hello, this is Josh from Real Dead, and this is my wife Michelle. She's joining me today on this review of Nosferatu. And the director is Edgar White. I think that's his name. What's his name?
Robert Eggers.
Robert Eggers. What did I say?
I don't know.
Eggers White. Okay, I have no credibility when it comes to director. But yeah, Robert Eggers, we like some of his stuff for sure. He did The Witch.
I like The Witch.
Yeah, we love The Witch. But let's just start off by, I'm going to say the Rotten Tomatoes score of this movie right now. 87% by the critics and a 76 on the popcorn meter, and that's over 1,000 reviews. So listen, this movie, I didn't come into it thinking it was going to be action-packed, fast-paced, or anything like that. And I do want to put that out front. This movie is a slow movie. They do give you little morsels, which I did like. I thought the cinematography of this movie and the shots and different things they got were awesome.
It was really dark. Like,
very dark movie.
They use light in a good way.
Yeah, and they also use light sparingly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I really like this. I really like the cinematography. Sorry. I didn't really like the film. I thought the film was okay for what it was. I didn't say it was bad. Lily Rose Depp, she was excellent in the main role. Nicholas Hoult as her husband played Thomas. He was really good in this.
I agree. The acting.
Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok or Nosferatu, awesome. I thought. Aaron Taylor Johnson as Frederick. That is Nicholas Holt's friend. He was really good in it. William Dafoe, always good in in like basically everything you've ever seen him in.
Every movie William Dafoe's in.
Right.
Basically.
So yeah, there was a friend too her name was Anna, but she was played by Emma Corrin. She was good in this. I think the acting was good. The delivery of the movie was just very slow. And you don't get a lot of vampire stuff in this, in my opinion. I don't think that's a spoiler. But Michelle, what are your just initial takes on it? Before we get to, we will have a spoiler section, but we'll leave that for the end. This is kind of like non-spoilers.
Full disclosure, didn't like this movie very much. I didn't like the story. Maybe that's my fault. I've seen lots of other vampire-like movies that are similar to this that I liked a lot better. I did think the acting was good. The cinematography was good. I just hated the story, and it was very slow. Also, really hard to understand sometimes.
Because of it took place in like
Old-timey.
1830s or 1840s or something like that.
Yeah.
So you found it hard to understand people.
Even when they were speaking English, it was hard for me to understand.
Right.
Of course, I'm not going to understand the language they're speaking.
And then some parts, it was kind of like, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah, I didn't think it was a succinct story. I thought, what's going on? There was also some pretty unnecessary parts. That's what I thought. So
okay, I didn't think those were as bad as you did for some reason. But we'll get to that in the spoiler section. Yeah, I just think, man, it's an okay movie. It is 2 hours and over 2 hours long, and it feels every bit over 2 hours long.
Every minute. I was almost falling asleep at one
Does it
point.
say a time? 2 hours and 13 minutes, and it is.
Mm-hmm.
It is 2 hours and 13 minutes long. It does, like I said, I read you the rating. I think it's getting good reviews. I think some of the stuff in it I think it's really good. I do think they did a good job with it. But would I watch this again? No.
I wouldn't see it in theater.
Would I see it? Would I recommend people to see it? Sure. I would, actually. Because I'd say, hey, what do you think of this?
I'd say skip it.
Okay. So that's what we're going to say in the non-spoilers. I think
Are we going to give our rating here?
Yeah. 1 out of 10, 5.
Average. 5 is average.
5 is average. I'd say 6.5 for me.
So it's above average movie to you.
Yeah, just because of just how the look of it and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 3.5.
Michelle's going 3.5. So
I did not like it.
Yep. So this is kind of like the last horror movie. I mean, I guess you could say it's a horror movie.
There was nothing scary about it.
Oh, no, there's nothing scary. There was one jump there got me. One.
But it was a jump scare.
Right. There is a couple jump scares in this movie, which I was surprised. But, yeah. So there's that. Now we're going to spoilers.
Yeah, let's do the spoilers.
Spoilers. Stop
if you don't want to know.
Okay. So, in the marketing for this movie, he's coming. He's coming.
He's coming.
He's coming. And he's coming. And he's coming some more. And they still continue with that in this movie. She says it. He eventually does get to the woman that he wants. It's about Orlok is obsessed with this woman from when she was a child, apparently. But he's kind of been locked away, and she's always had these dreams, and then she met this husband, and then those dreams went away. So, because I think she kind of fell in love with her husband, and that made his power weaker.
Yeah, I guess.
Is what I'm understanding. So he wants to come and be at where she is at. So he somehow devises a plan from a castle way out in the Alps or whatever, and he ends up controlling this guy, and it turns out to be her husband's boss. And yeah, and then they send him to this castle, which is cool. The trip to the castle I thought was very intriguing.
Sure.
But once he gets to the castle, he signs this letter over for money, and it turns out it's actually for his wife, property of his wife.
Yeah, I just don't even understand. Why would you sign a paper you didn't even know what it meant?
And
it's in the old language.
Right. And then he thought he was selling a house to this guy.
Sure.
But to Nosferatu. But as he's staying here, Nosferatu's feeding on him every night.
Yeah.
And he comes to realize that finally. Well, he does escape, the husband, but then
he's almost dead.
Right. And then the wife, she's having all these nightmares and acting like her eyes rolling back, and she's speaking in different voices and all this, and they think it's that she's sick and stuff. And then they have William Dafoe's character, who is really, he's kind of going off he's a scientist and a doctor, but he's kind of went off the deep end in the science world, where he kind of really studied occults and all this kinds of stuff, and it kind of made him kind of like banished by the science world. So he comes in and helps, but he understands that there's only one way for Nosferatu to die, and because a lot of people are dying in this town now that Nosferatu moved there. And they all said it's a plague, but it's actually not. It's him. Mm-hmm. And is for her to sacrifice her own self to kill him. Because Nosferatu is so obsessed with this woman that he will feed on her until daylight, and then they'll be dead. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
He fed on her for too long, and because he was obsessed.
Lost track of time.
Yep. And yeah, so Michelle had issues with some like sex scenes in this movie, but they weren't even really sex scenes. You don't see anything.
It was just like the friend had sex with his dead wife, which was weird
because he was grieving. And
okay,
I mean he was sick with. He had the
plague.
Was
unnecessary.
Okay,
but it was just like I just don't get it.
But you don't see that.
No, but
right.
I don't know. I just felt like
it didn't bother
unnecessary.
Me. It didn't bother me because you don't see it or anything. It's not like they're showing you something sick.
I don't know, just like unnecessary. I felt like some stuff in here.
What else?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
What do you mean? I don't
know. Unnecessary, like I don't know, just sick.
Okay.
Like sexual stuff for no reason.
Okay.
Like when he visits her in her dreams, unnecessary.
Why? That's
the content of it.
But that's what he does. He has control over her. He's trying to have control over her.
Well, I didn't like it.
Okay, Miss Feminist. But listen, yeah, I mean, it didn't bother me. None of that bothered me. That's just vampires. Some vampires in some lore have control and sexual desires over women.
Sure, I get
Right,
that.
in some lore, not all. But yeah, so and I think that's what they were going for here.
He's coming, and I wish he didn't.
Yeah, he did. He did. He stayed too long, didn't he?
Ugh.
Yeah.
You do see Nosferatu. How do you say it?
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
Or you can just call him Count
Olaf or whatever. Yep. You do see him a lot throughout the film.
And I think
Throughout
it looks
the
good.
whole film.
You didn't know it was Bill Skarsgård.
I didn't know it was Bill Skarsgård. I didn't necessarily like the character of Nosferatu, though. So probably that's why I didn't like the movie.
Okay.
I didn't think it was a compelling story. I didn't like the character. I didn't understand.
Yeah. Well, like I said, is there any other spoilers that we should talk about?
There is a scene where that you really mentioned that you liked on the way home, that they show Count Olaf with his wolves.
Yeah.
And then he was like chasing the husband, but then it cut back to the wife.
Well, it like flipped to show the husband, but then it was actually the wife. It was really cool.
Yeah, so the cinematography was pretty cool. There were some cool shots.
Yeah.
It didn't save it for me though.
Right. Lots of rats in this movie.
Yeah.
Yep. Rats. They all think it's a plague, but it's actually not. Well, he maybe brought a plague. I don't know. But okay, guys, that's it for spoilers. I mean, there's really not a lot of spoilers. She's the key to killing him. That's what it is. And you kind of learn that kind of like
very early on.
Well,
about halfway through.
Maybe a little longer. But yeah, you do learn that. And yeah, I wouldn't watch it again. But it was okay.
But you gave it a 6.5.
Because I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't watch it again. It's not one of those movies you can watch a million times, I don't think.
Okay.
It's not like The Witch, where we love The Witch. This was not The Witch. So.
No.
Okay, I don't know what I called the director at first. I called him...
Robert White. It's Robert Eggers.
Yes, so... But yeah, as you said, I gave it a 6.5. Michelle gave it 3.5. Let us know what you think in the comments. And that's it. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Like, comment, subscribe. Bye.